Good evening everyone, welcome to Astra, the daily current affairs. Today it is 13th of January 2023. The headlines or the major things that we see in Hindu newspaper today are, so Jagannath government has transformed the village government. So this is what we have in the heading. So if you look at this, those who are writing Andhra Pradesh State Public Service Commission, this is extremely important. YSR Raitu Bharosa Kendras, there were around 10,778 Kendras that are established in the state of Andhra Pradesh. And then village ward secretariats, over 540 government services are provided to the doorsteps through 15,004 ward village secretariats, rendering service through 1,35,819 permanent employees and 2.60 lakh volunteers. So if you are writing group 1 and group 2, this can be useful. Manabadi and Nadu Nedu scheme. This is to ensure that the government schools in Andhra Pradesh are competing with the corporate schools. For this, the government of India has, Andhra Pradesh has invested 17,805 crores to improve infrastructure and modernize the educational institutions in the schools. Subsequently, they have given bilingual text and Byju's context as a part of Jagannath Kanuka. Next one that we have is YSR Digital Library. This is to ensure that village libraries are provided, and there were almost 12,979 panchayats where these digital libraries were established. A service of volunteers. The volunteers have been playing a very crucial role in ensuring that the last mile delivery of government services is being reached to the vulnerable sections of the communities in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and almost 2.60 lakh volunteers were involved in this duty. Anganwadi centers. So in order to protect the future of the children and the pregnant mother in the state, there has been 55,607 Anganwadi centers across the state, and they are taking Sampurna Poshana and Poshan Plus Abhiyan to provide nutritional support to the village people. YSR village clinics. This is to ensure that there are primary healthcare centers in almost 10,132 village healthcare clinics have been established, and each village clinic will cater somewhere around 2,500 people, and free medical services are growing provided here with almost 14 types of tests available, and 105 medicines are available at the doorsteps of the people. This is how transforming the villages, and a vibrant canvas for rural villages have been provided by the government of Andhra Pradesh. So this can be used in village transformation into a vibrant tapestry of progress and prosperity. So this is what extremely important for the state of Andhra Pradesh Group 1. Subsequently, if we go to the main page articles, that is regarding to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court refuses to stay the law that was passed recently by the Parliament in the winter session about the qualifications or selections of Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners of the state government of the central government. Now, central government recently has passed a law making the so-called appointments to the CECs and ECs. What is that law? The CEC and other election commissioner appointment conditions of service terms of office act 2023 was being passed. However, it should be noted that it has diluted the Supreme Court verdict, taking away the Chief Justice from the panel of selections. So in this context, some persons have moved to the Supreme Court, asking them the Supreme Court should stay the law that the Parliament has passed. However, the CJI has the Supreme Court has refused to stay this act, and it said that we are going to give notice to the government for an answer. This is what it has. So this is extremely important for political science perspective or polity perspective, the selections of Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners of India. Retail inflation in the December month has reached to 5.7. It should be noted that in the month of November it was somewhere around 5.55%, and it reached to 5.7% from 5.54%. So retail inflation is clocking a higher levels. So 5.7%. We have to wait and watch how this retail inflation is going to be in the month of January. In this context, you should know what is retail inflation, what is the importance of retail inflation. So retail inflation is the inflation that you see at the consumer levels, and this is also known as consumer price index measured by National Statistical Office. Every month they will measure it, and the basket that you have is different from rural areas and urban areas. In this context, they have given this. And in order to control inflation in the country, we are targeting rural retail inflation, all India headline inflation. So the band that we are targeting for controlling this is 2 to 6% of GDP. This is the thing that we have to understand. Next one is 3 people were held for killing tigers in Asifabad in the state of Telangana. So that is the news that we have. So after this, in Telangana, there is Numaisha gets off to an unrushed start. Now, what is this Numaisa? Numaisa is nothing but an industrial exhibition in the state of Telangana in Hyderabad, where you can get various equipments that you want to buy by going to this Numaisha Industrial Exhibition that is held at Nampalli in Hyderabad. So literary festival is being held in Hyderabad at Cyberabad today, or Cyberabad this time. This is the thing. Normally it is held in NTR Park or NTR Stadium, but now this is being held here. So these are the things that we have in Hyderabad. So the country is in full mood of Sankranti. So this is what you find here. So subsequently, when it comes to the railways, the punctuality of the railways have been hit very hard. Even on the mainline express trains are running late. So loyal railway passengers are complaining about the so-called lack of diligence in the time schedules. So this is what they are saying. Particularly the main trains like Duranto, Nizamuddin expresses, they are running very late. This is what they have said. So fake astrologer has been held for cheating, complaint of 17 lakhs. So there was a fake astrologer. So this is how we can say that as education system is improving, still these type of people like fake astrologers are still present across the country. So this is something that we have to be very wary. Where you can write this, you can write this in GS paper 3, GS paper 4 as well as in essay writing. So going into the next phase, that is called India from Hyderabad still. This is not important, we can neglect it. But however, what is important here is editorial page directly, guys. Robust revenues, this is speaking about the so-called latest revenue data that Government of India or NSO has released. Recently, NSO has said that 80% of direct tax revenues have been collected by the end of January 10th, 2024. Still 2.5 months are about to be done in this financial year. In this context, reaching this 80% is definitely a good sign for the government. Subsequently, by the end of this quarter or by the end of this financial year, it is going to reach or going to break the budget estimates, and this is going to be one of the biggest thing as far as direct taxes are considered. The direct taxes which have shown improvement is personal income tax as well as corporation income tax, and recently NSO has also said that the increase has been contributed due to the increase in the tax base, that is the total number of people who are contributing for the taxes. We also know that the indirect taxes in this year has been clocking somewhere around 1.65% on an average every month. In this context, it is also quite worthy to note that indirect taxes are also reaching the budget estimates or going beyond the budget estimates. So the total tax collections this year has been tremendously very good, and this is going to give the cushion to the government, which is expecting to cross its fiscal deficit beyond the budget estimates of 5.9%. All this will be helpful for the government in order to retain or to control the fiscal deficit within this band of 5.9% as far as this financial year is considered. Along with this, the government also should focus on improving the so-called saving rates in the country by promoting the concepts of insurances and old saving rates for the people for a long time. So unless and until this is nurtured in the people, the growth that we are going to have is going to be not fulfilled or not going to be complete. So this is what the entire article is speaking. Number game, this is speaking about the so-called the recent awards of Swachh Sarvekshan. Recently, we know that the Swachh Sarvekshan awards have been released. This time, the top states, the top cities who have got these awards are cities are normally classified into two cities here: cities with more than 1 lakh population and cities with less than 1 lakh population. In those category of the cities who have got more than 1 lakh population, there two cities have clocked it. Surat and Gujarat have got this highest rate. So Gujarat and Surat were topped here. Surat, and you have one more thing that is called Indore. For the 7th time, Indore has got this. So Indore, Surat are the first two. The third one has been given to the so-called Vishakhapatnam. Navi Mumbai is the third one, Vishakhapatnam is the fourth one, these things, 1/5 one is Bhopal we have. So all these are really good to show, and they are speaking about what are the things that we have for civic sanitation to remain a sustainable movement. It is high time that the government intervenes and prevents it being a number game. So just don't focus on the so-called number game along the cities, but it should be really driven by the changes that we are seeing in the bottom level. That is what they are saying. Lord Ram, from Mandir to more important Rajya. So very beautiful article was written by the senior advocate and mediator, Mr. Sriram Panchu. Now what does this man is saying? This man is saying that we have come across the so-called Babri Masjid incidents, and then Ayodhya is going to be, or in the Ayodhya we are going to see the festive mode of Ram consecration, the god Ram consecration. However, as the people are celebrating this, what we have to not forget is this is not just temple which is important but the ideology that Lord Rama has propounded. Particularly, Rama Raja's concept has to be elevated throughout the country. What is Rama Raja? A Raja where everyone will be treated equally and justice will be done to each and everyone. That is the thing that it is speaking. So more or less, this article can be extremely important in GS paper 4 as well as in essay writing. Please have a look at this, very simple to understand. So the contextual line is this. The Ram temple is now more important than this is ensuring that religious disputes do not reoccur in India and for all to follow the dharma from Rama Raja. So what is the thing? Everyone has to uphold their dharma. That is what Rama has proved, and everyone, just like Lord Rama, we have to take this to the clue and we have to ensure the same thing. So Pradhana Mantri Narendra Modi has began special 11-day ritual before opening up Ram temple in Ayodhya. So this is the thing that you can see. And a focus on best practices as global meetup pulses returns to India. So the 800 representatives for this meeting, global meet and pulses, has been taking place in New Delhi this time. So this can be useful for answer writing or this can be useful for local exams. Global Pulses Convention is going to be held in February and this is jointly organized by NAFED as well as Global Pulse Federation. NAFED is National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India and Global Pulse Corporation is going to be keeping it. Union Consumer Affairs Secretary is going to be overlooking this function because all this comes under Ministry of Consumer Affairs. So this is going to be the 2023 convention was held in Sydney. Now it is being organized in New Delhi in India. So that is something that we have to really upheld. So this is main prelims component. Next one. Lok Sabha privilege panel calls for revoking suspension of 3 MPs. So have a look at what is privilege panel. So Article 105 and 104 of Indian Constitution provides privileges to the members of Parliament. That is, you have individual privileges and collective privileges. So privilege committee is that committee which will be looking at whether the members of Parliament have broken down the privilege or misused the privileges, and if there is misuse, then they can take action on that type of members. Recently, the Lok Sabha members have been, 3 Lok Sabha members have been suspended on the privilege grounds. However, the Lok Sabha Privilege Committee has said that we have to revoke that suspension. As a result, these 3 MPs will be coming back to the House. So this is important as far as prelims is considered. India's longest sea bridge has been inaugurated. It is a 6-lane trans-harbour bridge with a 21.8 kilometer long and 16.5 kilometers sea line. It is known as the Ramasetu link, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated this. So, absolutely something. Of the total length of 21.8 kilometers, 16.5 kilometers of this is in the Arabian Sea. So that is what we have. That can be more useful for local exams. Subsequently, at 25.37 lakhs, India achieved record TB notifications in 2023. In this context, it has to be remembered, the government of India has promised that we are going to have national strategic plan on tuberculosis, and accordingly, what it has to be held is between 2020 to 25, and the target for TB elimination or TB notification by the private sector was 35% in 2020, 45%. So TB notifications have been increased by the private sector. So what we have to understand is India has targeted that by 2025 we are going to eliminate TB totally. However, we have to wait and watch whether this is going to happen in this year or not. Science Ministry team visits Hawaii to take stock of the telescope project. What is this telescope project? Important. 30-meter telescope project has been released at this is present of Mauna Kea, an inactive volcano in the island of Hawaii, hosts multiple telescopes. Extremely important. So where this 30-meter telescope is present, this is called 30-meter telescope. 30 meters means in diameter it is 30 meters. So this is Mount Kea, and this is an inactive volcano. So it is 30 meters in diameter. Primary mirror optical and infrared telescope is present here. Now, what is the advantage of this? It will enable the observations into deep sea. It is proposed as a joint collaboration involving institutions of US, Japan, Canada, China and India. So India is a part of it. India participation in the project was approved by the Union Cabinet in the year 2014. Mount Kia hosts multiple telescopes, right? So this is one of the most important things that we have to observe. So Mount Kia is the site for the world's best for astronomy. Discussions on how to see the project can go forward with consensus and support for the local people. So this is the best place to look at the Mount Kia. So that is something that we have. November factory output growth has been dropped by 8% low or 8-month low. In this context, what we have to understand is index of industrial production, who releases it and how often this is released. Normally this is released for every 1 month, and in this core sector contributes 40%, and core sector data is also released in this context. So you have to understand this. RBI Deputy Governor Michael Patra gets 1 year extension. In this context, you have to understand that RBI Act of 1934 says that there should be 1 governor and 4 deputy governors. However, the Act did not specify the time frame or the tenure for governors and deputy governors. It will be in the hands of appointment committee of the cabinet headed by the Prime Minister. So appointment committee of the cabinet will appoint the members of RBI, that is chairman and deputy chairman of RBI. So US and UK are going to launch joint strikes against Houthi targets after Red Sea attacks. So we all know that Houthi terrorist organizations backed up by Iran are targeting the vessels traveling in the Red Sea. In this context, US and UK have decided to collaborate and give they are going to target against this together. In this context, External Affairs Jaishankar held a call with Antonio Blinken on Thursday, and they are asking India's support also. Hamas is guilty of genocide, Israel tells the High Court. We all know that Israel is accused of committing genocide against Palestinians, and this was started, the discussion was started in the International Security Council. So this was moved by South Africa, and in this context, Israel has answered that the genocide was started by Hamas, and Israel is just responding to it. So ICJ is present in Hague. That is why it is called Hague Court. Out of all the United Nations organizations, so United Nations principal organs, there are 5 principal organs. Out of all this, it is only ICJ which is present in the Hague or Netherlands. The rest of the things are present in New York in USA. So these are the things that you have to understand. So in the text and context space, this is what you have in the sports. So that is what, nothing is important here. So these are all the current affairs that we have for the day. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day.